Hello and welcome to this week's Transport Vlogger from a very, very chilly Brussels. Today we're going to be talking about the future of road transport and more particularly emission standards and emission reduction measures. Now next year the European Commission is going to do two things. First thing is going to revise the existing legislation for cutting carbon dioxide emissions from cars and light vehicles, the 2030 target. Now this target has already been agreed, but as part of the new Commission's Green Deal, which includes making Europe climate neutral and also reducing overall emissions by 55% maybe by 2030, the existing legislation doesn't get us there because road transport, well, transport in general is one of the only parts of the economy now where emissions are still rising instead of falling. And road transport is a big part of that. You can maybe hear it down below right now. So what do? They need to revise it. And that will probably happen in the mid part of next year when the European Commission releases this thing they call Fit for 55. To what extent that will change the game as it is already? Will it involve improving the existing percentage target, which is 37.5% at the moment? Will it mean bigger sales figures for zero emission vehicles? Or would it be something to bolt on to the existing legislation, something that we haven't even thought of yet? We don't know. That's going to be a big part of it. There's going to be a big pushback from automobile manufacturers. Chancellor Angela Merkel already said last week that she would want to leave those targets alone at the moment. I mean, Merkel is on her way out at the moment, so to what extent this is just her posturing remains to be seen. Germany will, of course, be all powerful in these negotiations, given the size of their industry and the size of the country and its influence over how the EU works. Second thing that the Commission will do next year, in the latter half of the year, is release what it thinks the new set of emission standards, Euro 7, should be. We're on Euro 6 and a bit at the moment. Sets minimum standards for all sorts of things like air pollutants and CO2 and all this kind of stuff. And the way the Commission is thinking at the moment is that the Euro 6 standards just don't do the job, particularly when it comes to air pollution. They simply aren't weeding out pollutants that cause respiratory problems and all these things quickly enough. So Euro 7 is likely to take a real sledgehammer to that part of emissions, as it were. There's an Inception impact assessment at the moment that's available online that you can have a look at. The things that I've heard coming out of the Bailey-Mont at the moment is that Euro 7 is going to be not so much an internal combustion engine ban in disguise, but if the Commission gets its way, that is the direction in which it could go. Because at the end of the day, the Commission will say that all of this legislation is technologically neutral. You could fuel a car with coal power if you wanted, so long as it was clean enough when it comes out of the tailpipe at the end. Of course, that's impossible. They know that. That's why they say that it's technologically neutral. To what extent Euro 7 will be this ban in disguise remains to be seen. I mean, there's a lot of logic in saying, well, we're not going to ban petrol and fossil engines because we can't, because of single market rules and all this kind of thing. But if we basically make the rules so stringent that it's actually cheaper for manufacturers to go down the electric, hydrogen, pure biofuels route, then why would you build a car that can only run on petrol and diesel at the end of the day? Thank you for tuning in. That's where we are at the moment. There's a lot of things to come out of road transport next year. Only sort of thoughts at the moment about where the direction might go. I'd love to hear your thoughts about it, so comment in the section below, tweet me, all this kind of stuff. Thanks for tuning into the video. Share it with your friends, subscribe, rewatch it, watch it again, and I will see you next time. Ciao for now.